Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars. Ah, yes, a Thursday night. It is so good to be back with you as we welcome you to Lernerville Speedway in the Steel City of Sarver, Pennsylvania. It is week number 7 of the 2025 spring season on the Coast to Coast Racing League. We got a good one here on the high banks of Lernerville Speedway. As always, we get the modified start with 2 shows, 358s, then the big blocks, and then Shaggy's got you covered for Pro Late Models later on tonight. But we're so glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. And it has been a fun season so far of modified action. We've been seeing it a lot on the open 358 side on Monday nights. But on the Thursday night side, you've been seeing some different winners on the year. Our only repeat winner of the season is currently our points leader, Sam Bachman, at the moment. Bachman in the 007. We'll look at the points right now. I'll give it to you early. Bachman coming in with a 29-point lead on Callie Wheeler, who continues to impress everyone throughout the season so far. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, now 35 points behind in third. Dean Reynolds, 44 back in fourth, and Mike Brewer rounding out the top 5, 48 behind. So your top 5 right now in points, actually your top 7 in points, 6 of the drivers right now are full throttle motorsports drivers. We'll have to see if someone can compete against the conglomerate giant here this evening. 20 cars right now have shown up this evening on this Thursday night. Should be getting qualifying going here in just a matter of moments. If you just joined us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network, good evening. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Checkers have just waved here on the practice session as Trevor Giroux the quickest at a 15:04. Big lead up here, of course, to Super Dirt Modified Week, which is next week from Tuesday to Thursday at Oswego Speedway. We'll talk more about that later on throughout the show tonight. 2 minutes of qualifying for our open 358 drivers. First driver on the track in 2 laps. Here, we'll watch our first driver. That'll be the driver of the 011. That's the Bandit, Randall Dixon. And, of course, you see your favorite drivers pop up at the bottom of your screen. If they're in purple, it means they're working on their quickest lap of the sector. Green means they're working on their best lap right now at the moment. So lap 1 currently underway here for the Bandit, Randall Dixon. With a top 10 so far in 5 starts this season. Good car count with us tonight, just under 24 drivers with us. Lap number 1, Randall Dixon sets the bar here, goes to the top of the charts. Mike Brewer now quick is the 15.442. Glenn Sharp even quicker at a 15.391. Brewer slower on lap number 2. Here comes Sharp across the line. Does he have something a little bit better? No, he doesn't. 15.619. Trevor Giroux done with his lap. Same with Anthony Morano. Scott Rayom, quick time at a 15.344. 15344 for Slide Job Scotty and car number 4. Sam Bachman goes quicker, though. 15.255. 800ths quicker than Scott Rayom. 15255 for the 007. See if any of the drivers here are quicker on lap number 2. Does not appear to be the case. Bud Molyneux just came across the line on lap 2. 15.64 on lap 2. Callie Wheeler done with his lap. D.V. Runkle also done. Here's the mayor off at turn 4. Steve Bixler. 5 seconds left here in qualifying. Where does he go? 14th quickest. But that'll do it for qualifying. 23 cars make up the grid. And Sam Bachman the quickest at a 15.255. So we're ready to go for heat race number 1, which is brought to you by our friends at Gambler Motorsports, an official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's how they line up. William Watson on the pole, driving car number 23. 2 is outside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, and car number 075. Row number 2, Glenn Sharp, driving the 99 car. Next to him, it's Sam Bachman in the 007. Row 3, Bob DeGood in the number 7 car. Next to him, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Final row for Heat 1, John DeBias driving car number 21, and DK Dylan Kinsey running out the grid in the 639. Tyler Dixon checking in. Says hoping to keep up with FTM this evening. Well, if you're new to a Slide Job Racing Network produced broadcast, we do something a little fun at Lernerville, especially on Monday nights. We do something called the fall off count. It's like the flip count at the Chili Bowl, only this time you have to predict how many drivers will fall over the banking. It's got to be all 4 wheels over the banking at Lernerville Speedway. It can be turns 1 and 2, the back straight, 3 and 4. If there's one of those situations, that'll count towards the fall off count just as long as they're not headed towards pit road and going straight. If they're going straight, it counts as a fall off. If they go to the pit road, though, it doesn't count. That means driving to pit road, not towing to pit road. Dickinson says 7. Okay. This is for... We combine it. We combine it, by the way, at the end of the night. We'll combine it for small blocks and big blocks. I don't know if Shaggy's going to include it for the late models. I would guess he would, because he likes to play the game, too. Just waiting on Dylan Kinsey. He's got like 7 seconds left to grid. So no call for Kinsey to the green. We've got 2 laps in pace laps before we go green. A 8-lap heat. Top 4 obviously inverted before we take the green flag and everybody makes the show. Feature tonight 30 laps here, and of course small blocks here on Thursday Night Thunder, brought to you by our good friends at Top Notch Trucking. Arlen, big supporter of the modifieds here, as well as Venom Racing. You should check them out if you're out of the Dakotas. They do a great job when it comes to logistics.
Green
We're going to go green immediately. Waste no time. Winner starts on pole for the feature. We're underway. Good start from Watson, driving the FTM 23. The iRacing scheme says 88. But here comes his teammate, the Philly Flyer. Slide job by Giroux for the race lead. Off goes Jeff Barker. There's fall off count off number 1. Lap number 1 led by the 075. Another slider look here by William Watson for the race lead. Trevor Giroux crisscrosses back. Watson leads lap number 2. Back downstairs goes the Philly Flyer to the race lead. Bachman down in 3rd, Glenn Sharp 4th. Watson looking all the way downstairs. The 075 trying to shut the door. Halfway home, 4 up and 4 down here at the first heat race. Giroux the quickest car on track at 15:35. On board with William Watson. Sends her deep. A lot of yaw on that 88 through 3 and 4. Giroux, though, with a preferred corner exit. Your best battle on the racetrack right here for the lead. Also got a good battle for 4th between Glenn Sharp and Bob DeGood. Giroux now has William Watson cleared. Giroux uses the slider line. See if it helps him out. Watson better on corner exit with the line that he just used. 3 laps to go in the heat. Going all single file out here pretty much at the moment. Again, your best battle on track, Giroux and Watson. Bachman 3rd, Sharp 4th, DeGood 5th, Tobias 6th. Jeff Barker out of the race after falling off the track on lap number 1. Dylan Kinsey did not take the green flag. Final lap underway here in Heat 1. Watson looking downstairs. Remember, winner on the pole tonight for the 30-lap feature. Watson pulls up to the door. Watson to be able to send it deep. There he goes. Slide job. Watson. Giroux counters it back off the corner. Way too close to call. I think it was William Watson by 300ths. iRacing timing says Watson by 200ths of a second. Woo, baby, that was close. Let's show you that one once again and show you how close they were from the aerial shot as they were coming across the start-finish line. You can see it right there. Watson just nipped him at the stripe. So we move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. And here's how they line up. The Magic Ant-Man on the pole, Anthony Morano driving car number 32 to his outside. The Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 011. Row 2, Mike Brewer driving the 390 to his outside. Slide job, Scott Riome in the 4. Row number 3, the Mayor, Steve Bixler driving car number 75. Next to him, Alex Pablo in the 397. Final row, Putt Clay Christopherson in the 51. And Chase Matsko in the 26. Everyone gridded should be going green this time by. There you see the iRacing pace car on pit road. Winner starts the front row next to Willie Watson. Green flag waves, Regency Heat 2 underway. Morano immediately slides up in front of Randall Dixon, takes the lead. Mike Brewer, good exit off of turn 2, nearly rubs Nerf bars with the 011. Oh, look at Scott Riome, some slight touching with 2 cars. Dixon and Bixler, and Riome pays the price. Around goes slide job, Scotty. Bixler also collects a piece of that one. Meanwhile, for the race lead, door to door into 3, Mike Brewer sends her deep with a slider. He's got the eyes on the spoiler. He can see Morano closely, but now he can't. Morano sends her deep into turn number 1 for the top spot. Nice paint ride out of the FTM Swan Speed Shop right now. We got Steve Bixler, I believe, who has gone to the pits. We'll have to double check and see if that counted as a fall off. But we're still side by side for the lead into turn 1. Can Morano clear on Brewer? We'll just have to see. Quickest car on track, though, the man in 6th. That's Alex Pomelo, 15:50. Again, everyone makes the show regardless. Nice exit for the 32 up on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Brewer taking a chance at it once again. Of course, the Mike Brewer fan club, without a question, watching here tonight. Also got Runkle Family Farms. Adam Flieger also watching, both rooting for Chase Matsko. I'm Marty Scalo with you, filling for Flieger tonight. Unfortunately, not able to make it. Got 2 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Morano, quickest car on the track. You ride on board for the rear of the 32. The Magic Ant-Man, who in every start in Rebels competition this season. Oh no! Brewer goes off the track. He's fall-off victim number 2. And it costs him a spot. But regardless, still an FTM dominant performance here in the heat race. Clay Christopherson moving up to second. Here comes off the corner Anthony Morano to see the checkers. He wins heat race number 2. Christopherson second, Brewer third, Pomelo fourth, Matsko fifth, Dixon 6th, Bixler 7th, and Rayome in 8th. Let's take a look here and make sure that Bixler was not a fall-off victim. As he goes up in the air, we'll say the same thing too for, nope, he wasn't a fall-off. Let's look at Randall Dixon though too. I want to see if he was a victim of this too. We may have to fast forward here. Bear with us. Oh, yep, he was. I think he was. And the answer is... Ooh, he kept the left front on. Now... Ooh, barely. Now he's off. So with that, the fall-off count goes up to 3. And speaking of 3, we're ready for heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management, proud partner of the Retreads division in Coast to Coast. DV Runkle on the pole, driving car 00. Next to him, it's Ty Dickinson in the 67. Row number 2, you've got Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Bud Molyneux, the Venom 83 to the outside. Row number 3, Mason Hine, driving car 89. Next to him, Brian Moore Sr. in the 555. Final car on the grid, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the Inferno Motorsports 518. Winner starts inside of row number 2. Green flag is out. Here we go for heat 3. Still side by side off the corner. Dickinson with a slight advantage on Runkle. Ooh, first contact nearly made by Wheeler on Bud Molyneux. Lap number 1 though, led by Dickinson. Runkle trying to fight for second back on Bud Molyneux, who has that car hooked up on the high side. Dickinson trying to pull away, already a half-second advantage, while Runkle and Molyneux are wheel-to-wheel for P2. A drag race off the corner, Runkle with the slight advantage. Meanwhile, in the back, up the hill goes Brian Moore Sr., keeps it on the track. Look at this 4-car Hornets Nest for second as Runkle and Molyneux banging and cut off the suspension of the 883. Around he goes. That'll increase the fall-off count to 4 already. And folks, we aren't even in the feature yet. Even the sprint cars do have a little better performance when it comes to the fall-off count. Wheeler, nice slider there up on Runkle. High with a little neck code on the 00. Everybody hanging on. 3 laps to go. Wheeler, quickest car on track. 15:48 last time by. But has some catching to do on Ty Dickinson. Gap at 0.6 of a second. Off at turn 4. Stu Two Sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. Runkle tried to look downstairs on the 11. Just following him in his tracks. On board with DV. And apparently Joseph Grandy has had an issue. Let's get a quick replay on that after the end of heat 3. It's Ty Dickinson out in front in the Velocita number 67. Bad Brad showing his support for the driver in that ride. He takes the win. Heat 3. In the wall goes Runkle in the battle for third with Mason Hine. The 89 edges out for third. Wheeler second, Moore 5th, Grandy 6th, and Molyneux in 7th. Before we go to break, quick look at what happened to 100 grand. Fall-off count victim, let's see here. Yes, he was. And a hard shot in the outside retaining wall. So this one goes up to 5. Already through 1, and we'll step aside and pay the bills here. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we prepare again for our feature. Take a look at the times here in warm-ups. Mike Brewer quickest at 15:4.72. Trevor Giroux second, 15:50. Kelly Wheeler third, 15:52. Scott Rayom fourth, 15:53. And Sam Bachman fifth at a 15:54. So with it, it is now time to meet the field of 23 for our first feature of the evening. Here's a look as we give you the RSN Trackside starting lineup. William Watson is on the pole in the FTM 23, who's outside his teammate Anthony Morano, the Magic Ant-Man, in the 32. Row number 2, Ty Dickinson in the 67, who is outside the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, in the 075. Row 3, it's Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson in the 51. Next to him, Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Row number 4, Sam Bachman in the 007, and Mike Brewer in the 39. Rounding out the top 10, Mason Hine in the 89, and Glenn Sharp in car 99. Row number 6, Alex Pomelo in the 397, and D.V. Runkle in the 00. Row number 7, Bob DeGood driving car 7, and Chase Matsko in the 26. Row 8, it's Brian Moore Sr. in the 55, and John Tobias in the 21. Row number 9, the Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 011, and 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row 10, the Brood to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and the Mayor, Steve Bixler, in the 75. Final 3 drivers on the grid, we've got Bud Molyneux in the 883, Dylan Kinsey in the 639, and Scott Rayom, Slide Job Scotty, in the 4. As the field rolls off here, no one to the rear here tonight, which is always good to see. Picks to win here for our first 30-lap feature of the evening. I am going to go with the man that is starting from the 4th spot. Give me Trevor Giroux to take it home. See the field lining up here. Don't forget, fall-off count is 5. If you haven't guessed yet, give us your fall-off count. How many you think there's going to be after 2 events tonight? Let's see who else is checking in. Katie checking in. Hope you're doing well. League of Farm TV room for FF Motorsports. One lap until we take the green flag. We are ready for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. Steve King Foundation pace car makes the right-hand turn onto pit road. For the first time tonight, it is time to shake and bake. 4 FTM cars start in the top 5. Will any of them win? We'll find out. It's time to get it on. Look at Morano threading the needle, wasting no time. Got past both Dickinson and Watson. Throws the slider through 3 and 4. We got a little carnage in the back of the pack. One driver loose. That was Glenn Sharp. Everybody hanging on for right now, but look at this mess. Far wide for the race lead. Look at the 88 of Watson. Yellow flag waves. Everybody can calm down. First caution flag for Joseph Grandy. Remember, it was starting to become a smorgasbord in the back. He got hooked by Bixler from the looks of it. Just was trying to hang on to that race car, and around he goes. So there goes Grandy around in the 518. Now, if you watched on Slide Job Racing Network Sunday night, we had we were broadcasting the Regal Promotions Esports Series, their 358 series that they normally do on Sunday nights. They also ran at Lernerville, and they put on a hell of a show. So I think that was probably a sneak preview for what we see here tonight. Although the 358s there on Sunday went 40 laps, we go 30. Ty, no texting driving, but he says, I always shake when I'm surrounded by FTM. So much respect to them. Yeah, you got 5 of them that are surrounding you right now. So set for our first restart of the night. Anthony Morano, William Watson, row number 1. Ty Dickinson, Clay Christopherson in row 2. Sam Bachman, Trevor Giroux, row 3. Kelly Wheeler, Mike Brewer, row 4. Mason Hine, Alex Pomelo round out your top 10. Morano selects the inside line here for the restart, not the yellow that Watson wanted as he was threading the needle while going for the race lead. We're back under the green flag. Let's see if we maybe go 4 wide again. I hope so, but at the same time, I hope not. Dickinson stuck in the middle with Giroux underneath. Clay Christopherson upstairs, 2 for 1. Third position is his. Oh boy, nearly doing it once again. Here comes Watson in the 88. Pulls up to the door of Anthony Morano. Watson, slide job through 3 and 4. Gives the lane to the 32. Morano hanging on, but this allows for Putt to have an opportunity to take away second. See what he can do of it. Watson holding his line upstairs. Believes maybe that he has the faster car compared to the driver of the 32. But it's FTM 1-2-3 at the moment. Sam Bachman in 5th. Quickest car last lap, 15:65. Challenging Trevor Giroux. 5th spot is his. Next target is Dickinson for 4th. 3 wide once again. Dickinson takes the peek here at Christopherson. But he knows he may be under attack from the 007 to Bachman in just a moment. Can Dickinson slot his way up, shut the door on the 007? No. He gives Bachman the lane. The race is on for 4th. The race may be on here for a second here. Look at that. 3 wide for just a moment. Christopherson has now moved out on the top shelf. He's just testing out Mama's basement. See if there's some space. Doesn't get the bite off turn 4 per second, but he did pull off side by side. Now look at Mike Brewer trying to send her deep there into turn 1. Reports that Bud Molyneux may have crashed. We'll take a look. Oh, yep, he's off the track, so increase that on the fall-off count to 6. Yellow flag waves here for the second time tonight. See what happened here to the driver of the number 883, Lone Venom entry tonight from the looks of it. Ooh, some slight neck code for the looks of it off of Joseph Greddy. And look at the wheel come off. Right now, Borth, Bud. Yeah, left front. Oh, yeah, left front just came off the race car out of the contact. That's the second time he's had some very slight contact and just let him destroy the machine. And that's what you would consider probably light contact in iRacing. Set for the restart here. We will watch from the aerial shot. Morano and Watson, row 1. Christopherson, Dickinson, row 2. Bachman, Brewer, row number 3. Giroux, Pomelo, row 4. Wheeler, Hind, round out your top 10. Ready to go back to the green. Morano able to hold for right now. No, boy, we were nearly 4 wide. Giroux trying to look all the way down to the apex. Oh, look at this. Here we go. 4 wide for third. Giroux took a shot. No yaw in the middle of the corner. A lot of contact for second. It's gone down to 3 wide. Putt stuck in the middle. Slides up in front of William Watson. We got trouble in the back. D.V. Runkle, Steve Bixler have gone around. Third yellow flies. We'll go single file restarts for the rest of this race. Take a look at what happened. Ooh, just a big checkup. Runkle got into Bixler and just simply sent him around. Let's go on board with the mayor. All right, ready for this restart with 11 laps complete.
Green flag, green flag.
Morano able to hold serve. Watson stuck down in second. Christopherson third. Bachman fourth. Dickinson rounds out the top five. Everyone staying single file for right now. Putt-Putt chasing after Watson for P2. For a side-by-side battle, Brewer looking underneath on Dickinson for the spot. Bottom step of the podium. Bachman low on Christopherson. That, though, does not work. Next time by will be halfway home. 15 up and 15 down. Biggest mover on track. He's currently up 9. Scott Rayome from being the first spinner in heat race number 2 to making his way up to 14th at the moment. Watson still trying to look downstairs on the 32. Nothing there. Here's Callie Wheeler looking on Alex Pomelo for the 8th spot. Pomelo been quiet throughout the night, but still capable of producing a very fast hot rod in that 397. Definitely with experience, and the Canadian moves up to P8. Here goes Putt-Putt. Oh no! Watson off the track! Back into traffic! Everybody scatters. How in the world does the whole pack get past him? And that is another victim of the fall-off count, up to 7. That guy caught him, though. Actually, both Giroux and Dickinson, but everyone else dodging the bullet. Right on board with Watson. So Watson using his quick repair on a key contender to win is out of it. Don't forget, next week, Super Dirt Modified Week, the annual charity event for the Coast to Coast Racing League. Don't want to miss out on that. All proceeds going towards Honor House. $10 for division, $15 for both. Open to all current Coast to Coast members or any new with a 3,000 I rating or less. Watch it Tuesday through Thursday on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We go 75 laps with a small block, 100 with a big block, all at Oswego Speedway, the home of Super Dirt Week. Back to green, 17 laps complete. Morano continues to lead. Bachman, Dickinson, first side-by-side battle. Still got the FTM drivers 1, 2, 3 despite the accident with William Watson. Look at this 3 wide mid-pack. Brewer, Moore, and Wheeler. That's the race for 7th. Give credit to Moore Sr. Started 15th, currently up to P8. Nice charge for him throughout the field. Bachman up on the bumper of his teammate for 2nd. Sam looking to extend that points lead tonight. Remember, it came in 29 up on Wheeler. Right now in 3rd, 10 laps to go. When it comes to where the rest of the top 5 are, Kelly Wheeler currently 9th, Trevor Giroux in 5th. Dean Reynolds not with us tonight. Mike Brewer, meanwhile, in 7th. We still watch this race for 2nd while Morano tries to pull away. Bachman tried to pull up to the door. Christopherson able to clear. Let's go back here as Brewer goes off the track. Merges back in and a hard contact with Scott Rayom. Caution waves here with 8 to go. And Rayom took a very hard shot. Here's a look. 8 fall-offs of the night so far. Ah, could just feel that one. Right on board with Rayom, who just had nowhere to go. Yeah, just, You could feel that was a very hard impact that Rayom put on his teammate. Lernerville strikes once again, that's for sure. So Morano now with another restart coming up. So 6 laps to go for the restart. Back to green. Here goes Bachman for 2nd. On Christopherson. Can't get it to work. Now watch Dickinson closely. Ooh, lifts a little bit. Let Bachman have the 3rd spot. At this point, you got to go fight. Look at Pomelo. Right in the 5th position. He's taking advantage of a couple of accidents. And now it's 3 wide for 4th. Giroux stuck in the middle. Pomelo's car coming in at the perfect time at the bottom. 5 laps to go at Lernerville. Morano trying to check out. The lead still at 0.3 of a second. It's FTM 1, 2, 3. As long as they can hold on to this, they will be very happy. Pablo around hanging on to 6th over Brian Moore Sr. Even with the hard impact, Scott Rayom still the biggest mover, up 11 spots. That's an FTM driver. 2 laps to go, 3 to go rather. Here comes Bachman for 2nd. 3 FTM drivers a chance to win it. Morano's dominated this one since taking the lead. Can Morano hang on in that number 32? Christofferson catching him on board. Morano keeping her perfect up to the high side. Final lap underway. Christofferson right there, quarter of a second back. Which FTM car will go to victory lane? Will it be Morano? Will it be Christofferson? Christofferson looks. He's going for a chance at it. Morano gets tight. Off the corner. Morano takes the win by 700ths. Putt second. Bachman third. Giroux fourth. And Dickinson fifth. Had something after the white flag with Mason High. Let's see what that was about. Yep, off the track and in the wall. So with that, that'll conclude the first race. And here's a look at how the field finishes. Rayom, the biggest mover, up 13 spots, still finished 10th after the heavy impact he took. Brian Moore Sr., nice run. Same with Alex Pomelo. They were 6th and 5th respectively. As you look at the final three cars, without question, the heartbreak going to William Watson, finishing 13th. Not bad of a way to come back after the incident. So we've got your top three ready to go. We will begin with Sam Bachman in the 007, extending his points lead after that race. Sam, take me through it as a whole. How much fun was it being a part of an FTM 1-2-3?
It's pretty nice to get a 1-2-3 up front with the FTM boys, but track felt pretty locked down towards the end. I tried using the bottom a little bit, and seems like you could only really use it on a start, but other than that, it just felt pretty locked down up top, and it was pretty good racing though. I mean, it was fun for the first 20 laps.
As a whole, I feel like, in my opinion, we saw so many different grooves and throughout that entire feature, because I saw Pomelo using the bottom lane to go, and it was working out for him. But that entire race, there was like 3 or 4 grooves. We saw you guys 4 wide for the lead at one point.
Yeah, it was definitely racy towards the beginning of the race. You could definitely use the bottom, middle, and top, and be pretty competitive with everybody around. But probably last 10 laps or whatever is when it started really getting slick and locked down.
Well, hey, regardless, great run for you tonight, Sam. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop for working hard on the dig. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation. Marty, obviously, you for broadcasting, and Coast to Coast.
Well, great job tonight, Sam. Hopefully we'll talk to you later on the Big Block feature.
Hopefully, thank you.
Sam Bachman finishing 3rd. Let's go to Clay Christofferson. Putt finishing 2nd. Clay, oh so close. You stayed right behind the Ant-Man throughout that entire feature. What more did you need?
I don't know. The track maybe needed to change a little bit. I was getting a good run 1 and 2, but with the minor damage I had on the right rear, I couldn't set the car how I wanted in 3 and 4, and so it was kind of a gang it and then lose it again. So maybe more laps, but I'm not sure. I know Sam was right there too, so I don't know how many more laps I would have survived either.
Yeah, where did you feel your car was working really well the most?
Probably middle. Top, I was a little greasy and just inconsistent, but middle was very consistent. Sometimes it wasn't the fastest, but it was consistent. So I'd say probably middle, top.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
You guys for putting this on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop.
Awesome. Well, Clay, we'll let you go. Great job. Best of luck in the Big Block race in a little bit.
Thank you.
So that's Putt Clay Christofferson finishing in 2nd. Now we go to Victory Lane to talk with your winner. Were you quick time? I can't even remember. Nah, you started 2nd, so you won Heat 2. Never mind on that. Magic Ant-Man takes another win with the modified. Ant-Man, take us through it.
Just had to wait for the tires to get some heat, and cold tires sucked up top, but once it finally got some heat in it, be able to actually run the cushion pretty hard and hit your marks. And kind of surprised me that last lap Clay went down on the bottom there. I knew he was going to go down there. I didn't think he'd get that good of a run through it though. But yeah, just hit the marks and do good on restarts and try to hold on and come up here and get to talk to you for a while.
Yeah, at the same time, from my perspective, it looked like that you actually may have gotten a little tight through 3 and 4. I don't know if you were trying to block with a slider or not, but I don't know what happened. But it seemed like really as a whole, though, clean air was the key in this race.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think my one advantage here is running the sprint cars for a while there. You really learn where you got to put the right rear and the fluff on these cars, when you're at Lernerville. So helped that a lot and paid off there big time.
What do you expect for the big block later on?
Hopefully be able to move around a little bit more. I know a few guys were trying to run the bottom and there was just nothing down there with the gear with the fixed setup. So hopefully you can move around a little bit more and yeah, that'd be nice to not be running on just one line. So we'll see how it goes.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I gotta thank my wife Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Air Car, Swan Speed Shop, High Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, Vertex Graphics just got this wrap done for me today. Extra Insulation, Shaggy TV, Rocky Photography, Casper Flagstone, Top Notch Trucking for sponsoring Vision, Marty for coming out and doing a broadcast on Coast to Coast.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. Well done.
Thanks, buddy.
Another win for the Magic Ant-Man. Anthony Morano taking the checkered flag. Another dominant performance for him in the 358. When we come back, big block action here at Lernerville on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Right when we talked about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is big block time here at Lernerville Speedway. Always looking forward to whenever these puppies take to the track here. Marius Calla with you. So glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Is that, holy moly, who was that? John Tobias taking a heck of a hit, and Michael Vitale too. But Zach Shammer will be coming up later on with the Pro Late models, and this season here at the big blocks have really been dominant by Full Throttle Motorsports. They own the top 6 spots in the standings. Here's a look at your top 5 and how things stand. Mike Burrow with a 1-frame lead on Anthony Morano. Third is Clay Christopherson, 23 points back. Dean Reynolds fourth. Now with us, he's hoping the Syracuse Crunch beat the Rochester Amex, which I hope the opposite way happens. He's 27 points behind. Sam Bachman fifth, 75 back. If you're watching on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, let's know who you're rooting for and make a guess on what we think the fall-off count's going to be when the big blocks are done. We had 9 in the 358s. Luckily, Trevor Drew was not one of those victims. This only counts for heats and features. We don't count them during practices or warm-ups. Or qualifying, too. Get you a look at how times stand. Don't worry, we do not have 38 minutes remaining in this session. We'll be moving on in just a couple moments. Trevor Giroux currently the quickest. 14.663 at the moment. Scott Rayom second, 14.67. Dylan Kinsey third, 14.76. Same for Sam Bachman. Alex Pomelo fifth, 14.772. Don't forget next week, Super Dirt Modified Week at the Oswego Speedway. All proceeds going towards Honor House Tuesday through Thursday. Watch right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. All culminates with a 75-lap feature for 358s and 100 laps for the big blocks. All at Oswego Speedway, the home for Super Dirt Modified Week. First driver to take to the racetrack, the driver of the Training Wheels Racing number 83. That's the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. Watch Dittmer's first lap as he will be the one that sets the bar. After him, we'll look at the driver of the 075, Trevor Giroux. Or anyone else that pops up in the purple. Lap 1 for Brandon Dittmer goes 15:02.2. Trevor Giroux across the line. He goes quick time 14:95. Vitali 4th. We'll go to Patrick Spangler, who is 5th quick at the moment. If anyone pops up with the purple, we'll update it for you. How about Trevor Giroux? Purple in Sector 1. Was he quicker? Yes, he was. 14:08.40. What a lap. Alex Pomelo making his way off of turn number 4, the 397. 4th quick, 14:044. Second lap slower, 15:160. Here's Bob DeGood driving car number 7. 15:169 on lap number 1. Scott Rayom, great lap for him on lap number 2, 15:02. Mike Brewer 3rd, 14:99. William Watson 5th quickest. Rayom off the corner. Is he quicker? Yes, he is. 14:08.98. Here comes Brewer across the line. Is he quicker? No, off by 300ths. William Watson off for turn number 4. Is he quicker? He's green in Sector 1. Nope, off by 200ths. Trevor Giroux, the quickest, 14:08.40 in qualifying. Great lap by him. So that wraps things up here for qualifying. We're ready for Heat 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. And here's how the field lines up. Sam Bachman on the pole in the 007. Next to him, it's Randall Dixon in the 011. The Bandit starting second. Row number 2, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. And the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 075. Row number 3, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in car 32. And the High Side Banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 4, Bob DeGood driving car number 7, and the Bird to Beats, Jeff Barker in the 513. Final row this evening, John Tobias driving car 21, and D.V. Runkle rounds out the field in the 21. Dickinson says Giroux translates to goat in French. You know, I want to see if that's actually true. It does not. It just says Giroux's Giroux. Oh, but he is also the Philly Flyer and also still jealous of my PC. So 8 laps, winner on pole for our 30-lap feature. Green is out for the big blocks. Good start by Sam Bachman. Dixon trying to fight back around the outside. See if anyone tries to thread the needle. Nice slider from Sam Bachman. Dixon reads it with a counter back. They crisscross as Bachman leads lap 1. Giroux following his teammate on the outside. Left front lifting off the 011 of Dixon. Now can he slide up in front of Giroux? Yes, he does, and that forces Giroux off the track. There was no contact either between the two. I think that just caught Trevor off guard. Fall off count now set at 10. Now we're hearing Jeff Barker may have gone off the track as well. Let's look at what happened to the Birds and Beasts. His track just had practice, I believe, today, if not earlier this week. Now we got Brandon Dittmer off the track again. We got Trevor Giroux, I think. All heck is breaking loose. Goes off track there. Does he come up into Giroux? Nope, Giroux just goes off track once again. Fall off count goes to 12. And maybe 13 with John Tobias. We've got 2 laps to go. Bachman's still out in the front. Here's a look at what happened to Tobias. He goes off the track. Final lap, meanwhile, underway for Sam Bachman in the 007. Front row has not changed one bit. Off the corner, checkered flag waves. Bachman wins Heat 1. Dixon second. Spangler up 3 to third. Morano fourth. DeGood fifth. Runkle up 4 to sixth. Barker seventh. Tobias eighth. Dittmer ninth. And Giroux 10th. So we had 4 drivers go off, or 4 fall-offs in one heat. So now we move on to heat race number 2. This heat race brought to you by our friends at Regency Home Inspection. Starting lineup, Alex Pomelo on the pole in the 397. Next to him, William Watson driving the 23. Row number 2, Mike Brewer in the 39. And slide job Scott Rayom next to him in the 4. Row number 3 on the inside, Michael Vitale, the jokester in the 213. And to his outside, Ty Dickinson in the 67. Row 4, Mason Hine racing the 89 tonight. And DK Dylan Kinsey in this one this time in the 639. Final row this evening, Brian Moore Sr. driving the 55. And putt-putt Clay Christopherson rounds out the grid, the 51. Tyler says I jinxed them. Well, that may help you out tonight, possibly. Who knows? You might have to do that for everyone in front of you. Ron checking in as he was rooting for putt-putt. Gonna go 1 to green this time. Nope, actually, correction, going green this time. Force of habit. I'm forced to what's been going on this past few weeks. Heat 2 underway for the big blocks. Pomelo, good start. He immediately clears William Watson. Rayom Vitale, battle for P3. Oh, Watson got it, Pomelo, and a big checkup. 2 drivers go off track. 4 wide again for the race lead. Through goes Rayom. What did I say? 3 drivers went off track or something in that scrum? Holy moly. Fall off count now at 16. But how the front of the field kept it straight, I don't know. We're still 3 wide for the second spot. Vitale with a slider up on Pomelo. He moves up to the 2nd position. How about this start from DK? Dylan Kinsey started in 8th. He currently runs in 3rd. And he wants more. He's still cooking. Well, the drivers still nose to tail on each other. Dickinson's gone around to the 67. He's become a victim of the fall-off count. Already 8 fall-offs. We're not even in the feature just yet. 3 laps to go. Here comes Kinsey for the lead on Scott Rayom. What a race car that DK's got under him tonight. If only he had this in the 358, but decided not to run it. Rayom edging out his teammate across the line. 2 laps to go in Heat 2. I believe this is our final heat of the night. Dino checking in, rooting for FTM. Hey Dino, go Amerks. White flag waves, final lap underway. Nice race still for 4th here between Pomelo and Vitale and William Watson. Great bite off in turn 2 for Dylan Kinsey. Can Rayom fight back through 3 and 4? No, he can. Kinsey takes the win in Heat 2. From 8th to the win. Rayom 2nd, Vitale 3rd, Pomelo 4th, Watson 5th, Hines 6th, Moore 7th, Christopherson 8th, Brewer 9th, and Dickinson 10th. So with that, we will step aside and go to break. When we come back, our feature with the big blocks at Lernerville on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups wrapping up here at Lernerville Speedway. Sam Bachman the quickest at a 15 even. Second quickest Trevor Giroux, 15:10. Mike Brewer third, 15:11. Anthony Morano fourth, 15:12. And fifth, Scott Rayome at a 15:15. Don't forget Super Dirt Modified Week next week, Tuesday through Thursday. Fixed 358 Big Black Modifieds. All proceeds going towards Honor House up in Canada. 358's the Big Blocks at Oswego Speedway. For more info, visit c2crl.com. Always looking forward to that event. These next two charity events we've got that are in season are my favorite of the year because you got Super Dirt Modified Week, and then when we come to the summer, we're talking Knoxville Nationals. That's our biggest event of the year. We'll talk about that later on. That's long term. But get to the big blocks. Time to meet our field for the 30-lap feature. Here's a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, Sam Bachman in the 007. Next to him, Dylan Kinsey in the 639. Row number 2, the Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 011. To his outside, Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in the 4. Row 3, the high side banger, Patrick Spengler in the 39. To his outside, the jokester, Michael Vitale in the 213. Row 4, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to him, Alex Pablo in the 397. Rounding out your top 10, Bob DeGood in the 7, and William Watson in the 23. Row number 6, Stevie Runkle in the 00, and Mason Hine in car number 89. Row number 7, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Brian Moore Sr. in the 55. Row 8, John Tobias in the 21, and Putt Clay Christopherson in the 51. Row number 9, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and Mike Brewer in the 390. Final row tonight, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 75, and Ty Dickinson racing in the 67. No cars to the rear of the grid for tonight. Always a pleasure to hear that. Pick to win tonight. Dylan Kinsey looks too fast. I'm going to go with the 639 this evening. But we are just about ready to go racing here at Lernerville Speedway. 20 drivers set for the green, 30 laps. Steve King found your pace car on the pit road. Race fans, it's time to shake and bake. Because where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's showtime at Lernerville. Flatline Racing Body, green flag is out. Bachman with the early race lead. Kinsey second, Dixon and Spengler. Oh, look out. Around goes Watson. The good collected. 2 more cars that are off. Make that 3 with Christopherson and 1 driver on its noggin. I believe that was Watson. That went over and over and over. Lot to digest here out of this accident. First off, watch the 51 car in Clay. Ooh, he ramped over D.V. Runko, and oh, that's a big hit. Watch Tobias, the 21. As he's one of the couple that go off the track, but this is what we had all of our eyes on. Watch the 88 of William Watson. Catches Pablo in just a big checkup. And there goes Watson for just a slight rollover. First caution flag flies here on lap number 1 of our 30-lap feature. Still got 1 lap till we take the green. Let's ride on board with Bob DeGood while we wait. That force from whoever got to the right of him just sent that 88 upside down. Nope, this will be double file apparently. Okay. Bachman selecting the inside line here for this restart. As the field is doubled up. Everyone remaining on track on the lead lap. Some drivers, no choice but to use a quick repair. We come back to the green. 1 lap complete. Actually, check that. They did complete 2 laps that time, so that's why we went double file. 3 wide mid-pack. Spangler was stuck in the middle for just a moment. He's side by side with Rayom for the 4th position. Can the 39 get some bite here off at turn number 4? He cannot. Bachman continuing to lead. Got all this 2x2 racing on the low side of the racetrack. Look out, Dittmer, contact with Giroux. Around goes the 83. And hard into that concrete wall. Destroyed that machine. Bachman, meanwhile, trying to run away from Dylan Kinsey. Here's the race for 3rd. Randall Dixon and Patrick Spangler. This is his home track. Dittmer's pulled it into the pits. Caution waves. Ty Dickinson around in the 67. I think he was surprised by the fact that the Spider Monkey went into victory lane. He's going to make sure whoever wins doesn't get onto victory lane. Nope. I think he towed it to pit road. Yeah, he did. Watch Revin to Dickinson. Round he goes. Look at the 83 just chilling there. Aboard Dickinson. Just touches Brian Moore, and around he goes off of the Uke tire. And watch Dittmer's view of this. Hang on, let's go to the. Look at his view of this. You can just barely see it. I made it, Mom. I made it to victory lane. So we got a couple of laps in that time. Will be our final double file restart coming up. While we wait, here's a schedule of what's coming up here for next week. Next Monday on Monday Night Madness, we are at Charlotte for the Open 358s, Rebels and Renegades. And then Tuesday through Thursday, we got Super Dirt Modified Week for Honor House. Don't miss all the action right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. 2 weeks for Thursday Night Thunder. We'll be at Lanier at 7 p.m. But don't forget, Pro Late models are still around the corner. Shaggy is getting things ready for you. Watch this restart for the button. Bachman, Kinsey, Spangler, Dixon, Morano. That's the top 5 back to green. Bachman able to hold serve. Spangler nearly going off track. The 007. 3 wide for 3rd in the middle that time. Believe was Dixon, and it was. Look at Scott Rayom trying to use the low line, get some bite off the corner. Kinsey trying to use that low line as well. But the grooves are coming in nice here at the Steel City Palace. Morano with a good bird's eye view of this in the back of that white 32 who won the 358 feature earlier on tonight. Did we just have one go off the track? We did. Trevor Giroux and Patrick Spangler. Caution flag waves. Spangler catching a break luckily because the yellow flag flew, and I don't think they considered him spun. Giroux went off and Spangler simply went off. Right on board with the Philly Flyer. Will be single file for the rest of this race. Yeah, he thought he was good, but wasn't. And pulled her to a stop. At least Spangler kept the wheels going. So he should maintain his spot. And now we've got the field all stopped and bobbled up. Just so the pace car can catch them. Now, for the looks of it, they may put Spangler outside the top 10. Nope, he may be moving it. Nope, he may be moving to his spot. Yep, he's moving back to his spot. Because they did not complete the green flag lap. So single file rest of this race. Bachman leads, Kinsey second, Spangler third, Dixon fourth, Rayome fifth, Morano sixth, Vitale seventh, Pomelo eighth, Hine ninth, and Barker 10th. Biggest mover right now is up 5. That's Mike Brewer from 18th to 13th. So we're back to green. 9 laps through. Now our big block feature at Lernerville. All eyes looking low. See if everyone tests the top here through 3 and 4. That top's starting to run out of energy for the looks of it. Dixon hanging on to 4th. Over Rayome for right now. But Scott's got good bite on corner exit in that number 4 machine. So they're winged away, door to door, excuse me. Morano gets a run here on the 4. Let's see if that 32 ride can go maybe 2 for 1. Look at how good he is riding the top. He rides that borderline between using the high side to going off the track. As close as possible. He's just so good at finding that balance. So Spangler, even after going off track, currently scored in the 3rd position. Next target, another bright paint scheme. The 639 to Dylan Kinsey. Morano testing again on Randall Dixon in the race for 4th. 32 car started 7th to good. Off the track of the 7. No caution, we stay green. Only thing that adds the stats, the fall off count, we're at 23 now. Good racing all throughout mid-pack. Rayome hanging on to the position over Michael Vitale. Pomelo, Hine, Barker, that's the top 10. Brewer still moving up spots. If he can get past Brian Moore Sr., that would put him up 7 spots in 11th. But a great corner by the 55 able to clear. Brewer crisscrossing. Oh, did Bachman go off? Bachman went off in the 007 and the yellow flag waves. See what happened. '24th driver, that is 24th different car that's fallen off tonight. The cautions are breeding cautions here this evening. Don't forget, if you're looking for the late models, that is coming up after we are done here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let's go out next time by, and again, single file restart coming up here. Aboard Dylan Kinsey, who apparently is the new leader here. Yes, he is, because Bachman was the leader before he fell off the racetrack. I forgot all about that. My apologies. We're back to green with 12 laps to go. The man that went from 8th to the win in heat race number 2. Hold serve off the corner. Now the Spangler up on his patented high line. The high side banger is why we call that. Man, nearly caught the wall. He's fighting for every inch of dirt here, trying to grab that race lead from DK. And Anthony Morano has broken into the top 3. Where'd he come from? Had a great restart. Now it's following Spangler in a 3-car race for lead with 10 to go. Good exit from the 39 there. Oh! Second time he's gone off the track. That'll cost him a bunch of spots. Merges in safely. But he goes from 2nd to 13th. And now here comes Morano for the race lead. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. The FTM 32 to the point. With 8 laps to go. And we've hit fall off number 25 with Spangler going off. What in the world has this race turned into in the past 5 laps? I have no idea. We got another car I think just went off track. Is that Clay? It was. As well as Bachman again. Yellow flag waves. Holy moly, what in the world is going on here? Let's show you a couple things. This is Spangler here. It's got a little too high. And ran out of road basically. And here's a look at what happened with Bachman. This is what triggered the caution flag. Ooh, that may be, I don't know if there was contact or net code off into bias. But this is an FTM implosion against Lernerville. Not against each other, against Lernerville. Yep, there was the contact there with DeBias. I did not see Morano winning this race from 7th tonight with the way this race has gone on. Ron says this is what happens when Dean isn't here. And Dean says yes, he does add some spice and glamour. So, by the way, Dean, who is in charge of Super Dirt Modified Week, says 42 entries and counting. That's awesome. Dean has been really the heart and soul of this race. Obviously, his baby, of course, Dirt Car Northeast and the big Super Dirt Week event every October. And now he's got one set for iRacing and Coast to Coast, which is pretty cool. All right, 6 to go. Kinsey telling Anthony to go. And the 639 caught sleeping. Now Randall Dixon has returned up to the 3rd position. And the best hope to put FTM in a podium sweep again is Scott Rayome, currently in 4th. Can he find his way past Randall Dixon, though, is the question. 5 laps to go. Dixon chasing down DK for the 2nd position. He's going to get a run here through 3 and 4. He's just following the 639 in his path, hoping he makes a mistake. Pablo also a part of this battle, right in 5th. Nice run for the 397 once again. Looking fight Vitali in the 213. A drag race into one with Pomelo. With 3 laps remaining, they nearly touch. Oh, we got one off the road to Bias. Fall off count number 28 with 2 laps remaining. Oh, Vitali with a slider from hell. Pomelo has to left, and here comes Jeff Barker trying to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, off at turn 4, white flag waves. We're under the final lap. And it's the Full Throttle Motorsports, number 32, Anthony Morano. Started 7th, coming off at turn number 4. Morano to the checkered flag, sweeps the modifieds. He hits the wall but wins. Battle here at the end. We got one off. It's Brewer. Kinsey second, Dixon third, Rayom finishes 4th. Vitali, Barker, Pomelo. Wow. Wild, wild racing. Fall off count after modifieds is 29. I wonder how it's going to be after late models this evening. So here are the results from tonight. Biggest mover, up 8, Ty Dickinson from last to 12th. Other good runs, like I mentioned, Barker up 7 to finish in 6th. Clay Christopherson after a couple of offs finishing in 10th. So that's how the 20 drivers finish. Heartbreak, probably Trevor Giroux and Patrick Spangler without question. So look at Shaggy coming in here in just a matter of moments. We also need Randall Dixon to join us too, because he finished in 3rd. So I guess in the meantime, I guess we'll start things off with your race winner, who was not, but he won and swept the modified portion of the night. Anthony Morano, how did you do it from 7th to 1st? Where was the turning point in this race?
I was just being really patient with the throttle. The top was beyond treacherous. It was like, it was stupid how much you had to really just foot your way around there not to go over the top in the slightest little bit. So that was like the main thing there. I thought I was going to go over a few times and just kind of got lucky more often than not, I think. So we'll take it. And yeah, I heard I was following Spangler there for a few laps, and I heard him spinning the tires pretty bad coming out of 2, and then the next corner he went overboard. So I just got lucky on that one, I think. It worked out. I mean, that's pretty much all I could do.
You know, while watching your onboard a couple of times in both 358s and the big blocks, I was bringing up how you are on that borderline between running the top and going overboard. And when you are borderline on that, that really helps for lap times. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. The further you get this right rear over into that fluff there, it's a sketchy, very unforgiving area, but if you can make it works perfectly. And it worked out, I guess. That was a big thing I learned in the sprint cars running here in the Hometown Heroes, following like Spangler around and stuff like that. So just had to know to get the right rear up in that fluff and work the throttle a lot. Just got lucky with it. I thought I was dead a few times, but it worked out.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Dirt Car, Dean over there, Swan Speech Up, Hi Mom Lens, DJ Simshop, Vertex Graphics for getting the wrap done for me today, Expert Installation, Castleberry, Flagstone, Shaggy TV, Marty, you've come out and doing the broadcast, and everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Awesome, man. Great job. Congrats on the win tonight. Hopefully we'll talk again on Monday.
I wish. I'll be at work.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hopefully next week at least for Modified Super Dirt Week.
I will be there for that.
Awesome. Sounds good. Anthony Morano, your race winner. Let's go to Dylan Kinsey, who finished in 2nd spot. Dylan, you thought you had it when when your teammate went off track, and then Morano got around you. What more did you need in those final laps?
Honestly, nothing. I did not have a winning car. That's the best you're going to get out of me right there at Lernerville. You know, I was best top 5 car. Got lucky with a few guys behind me going over. So, hey, that's a win for me. You know, it is what it is. But I wish the bottom stayed there a lot longer because it was pretty impressive in the heat race. So, it is what it is. It's, like I said, it's a win for me.
I'm surprised, honestly, that you said that you didn't have a winning car, considering how you performed in your heat race. I mean, you went from 8th to 1st on the bottom. I didn't see that one coming.
Neither did I. I got stuck down there, honestly, and then I'm like, man, I am picking guys off down here. I don't know what it is, and the fixed setup, the gear in here is so. I had to stay out of it so long on the bottom, and it was just dogging out of the turns. I'm like, how is this working? But once I realized it was working, I just stuck with it, and maybe I got a little lucky in the heat race too. I don't really know what happened with all that contact and everything. So, but it was working, so I stuck with it. But yeah, this is like a win to me. I had a top 5 car at best. I just got lucky with a few guys making mistakes.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Oh, I got to thank all the guys at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, DJ for the rap, you for doing the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
Congratulations on a second-place run. Hopefully we'll talk to you Monday. If not, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Marty.
All right, so that's Dylan Kinsey, who finishes in second. Fortunately, no, I don't believe we have Randall Dixon with us tonight, so I guess, Shaggy, you want to play the role of Randall?
I didn't watch the race, so I was good, man. I came home and ate dinner, and boy, oh boy, you know me, I got my gallbladder out. As soon as I eat dinner, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm quite busy here.
I can understand what you resting up after that golf game you had. Late models, what can we expect from tonight?
Well, I don't think we're going to get near the fall-offs you had. I did get to hear a little bit of the fall-off counter, a lot over the edge here. Not going to have a beat-up track. Only Brandon Templeton and Chase Matsko are out here beating up the track, running laps. Now more guys starting to file in, but smaller field. Calm, cool racing here at Lernerville. That's what I expect tonight.
Yes, 29 on the fall-off count. We'll see if what your guys' number is. Then we have a combined final after that. So, but anyway, for those watching on the Slide Job Racing Network channel, we are going to sign off. For those watching on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, you'll see a temporary pause or load. It will probably be frozen. That's because we'll be in the process of ending the stream on our end and switching over to Zach's broadcast. So stay tuned for that. Don't worry, it's not your internet. It's just us moving things over from computer to computer. So with that, I'm Marty Scala. Thanks for joining us on the modified portion of Thursday Night Thunder, where Anthony Morano sweeps in the modified late models. Coming up next, stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit
of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV. Hope you guys enjoyed having Marty back here on a Thursday night. Temporary fill-in for Mr. Adam, but you'll get to hear Marty and I together next week a little bit. Tuesday, I may end up bailing on that, depending on what the weather looks like. The World Outlaws are in town at the Lincoln Speedway, and well, I think Marty could handle the qualifying night. It is a lot, but I love the guy. Maybe he can do that. I'll try to pick up a little bit of the weight here Wednesday and Thursday night. But, man, it is going to be a fun one next week. Super Dirt Car Week. But, you know, for us. And it's going to the Honor House up there in Canada. Great charity. I don't have any videos queued up here for the Coast to Coast one. I should do that, actually. I should have brought that one over. I brought one up for the FTM side, the league they were doing. The Honor House, if you haven't heard of them, absolute awesome charity. Helps military members, first responders up in Canada. Basically, kind of gives them, it's a house. It's a pretty cool video. It hooks them up with a house in a certain area. I can't remember the town, but kind of just like a place to help you get back up on your feet, whether it's, you know, you're in town, you need to go for a funeral, or doctor's visits, anything along those lines. They're there to help you. It's pretty cool charity, and man, looking forward to doing our part there with those guys. Should be a lot of fun, but it's 8:39. I'm not too sure. Might be waiting on a guy or two to get in here. But it's time. We're ready to roll whenever they decide. So it's we're just gonna be playing it by ear here until they're ready to go. But in the meantime, make sure you go over to c2crl.com and sign up. Even if you're not gonna race, you know, it's still a great charity. If you're not racing, you can't race, and you feel like donating, you could always buy a spot for somebody else. Or I'm sure, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but odds are, if you don't qualify too, there's maybe a way to buy a spot in. We might sell spots. I'd start it off, you know, minimum $75. They may do 50. They may go as high as 100, but I'd like to see it hit that 3/4 of a century mark at least. You're going to buy your way into the feature. We're getting ready to go qualifying, and no surprise, you saw this guy. He's registered in this session. You know, he's the first one out on the racetrack. Let's watch Brandon Templeton rip around here at the Lernerville Speedway here in Sarver, PA. What's he going to do? He's going to rip this top through 3 and 4, build up as much momentum as he can, and now he's going to be coming like a freight train here down into 1. Going to go to the bottom. Likes the inside. Going to hook the left front on there, help it rotate. Not so much that you got the deck mower out. You know, you're not going down there, not putting the inside on there. Just the left front a little bit, trying to rotate the car. And Brandon Templeton going to be at the top of the charts, but for how long? Trevor Giroux, purple sector 1. Green sector 2, not good enough. Going to stay P2. Let's see what the 75 can do as he comes around lap number 2. Can Trevor pick up any time? Missed his mark there a little in 3 and 4, I thought, but what do I know? Purple sector 2, and Trevor Giroux still not going to have enough to get it done here as the high side banger Patrick Spangler comes across the line, P3. Good lap for the 39. High side banger going to be happy with that one. Clay Christopherson out here burning the place down. Look at him. So much grip through 3 and 4, really ripping it. He's got the car under control. It's hooked up. Oh man, he's suffering. Doesn't have the grip he needs coming out of 4. Real slow. Finally gets it to hook back up, and man, oh man, Clay Christopherson burn it down, brother. 30.09 for putt in the 051. Great lap there for Clay Christopherson. I can't believe I just did that without laughing. Man, thank God I don't have a camera. I was biting my lip the whole time. Oh, Clay's always full of surprises in that 051. The guy, he'll keep you guessing. That's for sure. He's always got you guessing. And well, looking over there on the Coast to Coast page, hopefully everything's coming through. I may have to look up. It says it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It did this to me the other day. Doesn't look laggy, but please, in the chat box, I see plenty of people watching. Just, man, I get so bad anxiety. Let me know how this thing looks, if everything's okay. But let's take a look at the starting lineup. Rounding out the field in the 051, Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson, row 3 to the outside. D.V. Runkle in the 44 to the inside. Ty Dixon. Row 2 to the top shelf, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton to the inside. The high side banger in the 39, Patrick Spangler. Row 1 for heat race number 1 to the outside, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, and starting on the pole, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Let's see here. Did they shortened the pace laps on me here too, so I'll reset your overlay in just a second, but the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 in your Shaggy TV Pro late models is underway. Dylan Kinsey getting a good jump on the bottom. Going to try to slide up in front of his teammate in the 32. Able to do so, but Anthony trying to stick that nose up there a little further. Try to bring a run. What can he do? Nothing. Dylan Kinsey holds it lap number 1. Brandon Templeton working on P2 here, trying to use that inside, and thank you for that, Ozzy. Everything looks good, but you know, YouTube, dang you, making me upset, giving me anxiety. But right now, this battle's on, man. Brandon Templeton got a little too low, got out that lawnmower we were talking about. Patrick Spangler going up over the edge here. Can he get back on? Not just yet. Going over the top. Gonna watch the spots fall, and Patrick Spangler, man, he's gonna have to try to get it back together here, run down the rest of the field as Ty Dickinson in the 67 machine. Looks like an 8. We'll call it a 6. But Ty working that inside, trying to get in front of that 31 who shoves him down, going to give him no room. And now Clay Christopherson maybe gets a little light breathed into that 51 here. Battle on for 4th in the upcoming laps if Clay can keep on reeling. But up front, Dylan Kinsey all alone, man. Dirt racing. This is, you know, he's got a country mile lead. I mean, half a corner basically. Anthony close, but not close enough for that big send. And Clay's going to be pumped about that, you know. Or I mean, Dylan's going to be pumped about that. He doesn't need to be perfect, just good enough to not allow the 32, you know, a super run for a slide job. And with the white flag flying, you got to think Dylan, man. This is all she wrote. Just got to hang on to her, and he's going to bring it home. Top 5, basically all in order. Final time through 3 and 4. Dylan Kinsey brings home the checkered flag. He's going to start on the pole. Anthony Morano, Brandon Templeton, Ty Dickinson, Clay Christopherson, Patrick Spangler, and D.V. Runkle rounds out the field. We get ready to take a look here. Starting grid heat race number 2. Looks a little something like this. Row 3 to the outside, the 21 of Blackjack John Tobias. To the inside, the 26 of Chase Matsko. Row 3 to the top shelf, the Philly Flyer in the 075, Trevor Giroux. To the inside, the 23 of William Bart Watson. Row 1 for heat race number 2. Winner starts on the outside of the front row for tonight's A main. The 007 of Sam Bachman to the top shelf. And starting on the pole, the 444 of Scott Rayo. Full Throttle Motorsports top 4, actually. Just now kind of caught my attention and noticed that here. And now that I know, I always forget. You know, I'm used to them not being able to shorten the pace laps anymore, but I guess somebody told me the other day it's whenever you start in the pits, you can shorten it. But, oh, they didn't shorten it this time. I hurried up. I sat the camera still to reset everything, and then they run it. They just playing mind games here tonight. That's all it is. We're going to have an 8-lap heat race. And if you're Chase Matsko or John Tobias, you got to wonder what you did this morning, you know, to wake up and deserve this. You got 4 teammates in front of you. Not going to be easy to work around them. So we'll have to see what they can do, or if FTM can hold on to the top 4. The question is, how are they going to come home in that top 4 if they do hold on? Scott Rayon ready to drop the hammer. We've got 8 to play in the clay at the Lernerville Speedway. Heat race number 2 underway. Good jump there for Chase Matsko. Looking on the bottom, making it 3 wide right away, but the Philly Flyer flapping his wings up top the 075. Here he goes, beating the drum. P2, 4th to 2nd, 1 lap. Now he's got to turn it on here. Got to go to work on his teammate in the 007, Sam Bachman. Started 2nd, took advantage of that outside starting spot, and tried, well, you know, thought maybe. He's like, guys, I'm going to pull away. This is what I can do, and I'm gonna use that outside, and I'm gonna pull away. But Trevor said, no, you're not, Sammy boy. I'm coming. I've already got my first win here with FTM, but it'd be nice to add another one to the belt. And the 75 trying to make it work as Chase Matsko slipping and sliding back here in 5th, trying to reel in that 444 of Scott Rayon. Scott jumping up over that hill, getting uncomfortable, but lots of speed in the center of the corner. As we see the battle start to heat up for 3rd, the battle getting even hotter up here at the lead. Trevor has reeled in the 007. One mistake here from Sammy, and we're going to have a hell of a battle. But we're coming down. We're running out of time. 2 to go here at the Lernerville Speedway. Let's run off that nose here, Trevor. Let's see what he sees. Gonna run about half a lane lower than his teammate in the 007. You see that white flag? And Sam's there. Trevor's there. One mistake from Sam. And we may see a tough battle going through 3 and 4. But final time down the backstretch. Sam gonna run that middle line. Gonna protect. Trevor goes to the bottom. Checkered flag wave. Sammy B hangs on. The Philly Flyer P2. Bart 3rd. Scotty 4th. Chase 5th. And Blackjack rounding out the field. All right, well, you know the deal by now. This is the Shaggy TV Pro Late Models, so nobody's yelled at me in here. Heck, I don't think Jack even goes back and looks. I mean, I don't know who is in charge, but until I get yelled at, you know, this is my sandbox, okay? Nobody's giving me anything for this. This is out of the kindness of my hearts because, well, coast to coast, man, they gave me my chance. And showed me how much fun this is and really kind of set me off and let me go. So whenever we get to warm-ups in the Shaggy TV Pro Late Models, we stick around. We don't leave. We don't run any videos. We sit here. We park ourselves on the top of one of the corners, and we listen to the cars roll by as I mute myself, grab a drink or two. Maybe a drag off a smoke. We'll see. But stick around. We'll be racing here in a couple minutes, and well, you'll hear my nagging voice in a few. We're going to be back. Shaggy TV Pro Late Models here at the Lernerville Speedway. Stick around. You see, there is only now. Okay, we do have a 13 car field, so not the biggest car field, but you can count them as we go by. There's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just a little over half. Only 7. Okay, all right, 8. I don't know how to count. Bart's back out there now. Bart just pulled out there. But not a lot of guys on the racetrack. That tells me it's maybe getting a little uncomfortable up top to where and. Whoa, you see a little contact there. Guys parking it 3 and 4. Maybe to where they don't. Now, this is no insult. I'm telling you because I'm one of those guys. There's a certain breed of us, maybe we don't like running that close to the top. They're going to cut it short here. Checker flag waves. Only a 3-minute warm-up tonight. Sometimes they let it go longer, but everybody's back. We're going to roll it. And we're going to take a look at the starting lineup for your Shaggy TV Pro late models, rounding out the field in the 44. D.V. Runkle, row 6 to the outside. Blackjack John DeBias to the inside. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 5 to the outside. The 26 of Chase Matsko to the inside. The 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row 4 to the outside, the 444 of Scott Rayome to the inside, the 67 of Ty Dickinson. Row 3 to the outside, the 23 of William Bart Watson to the inside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Row 2 to the outside, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux to the inside, the 32 out of Spring Hill, Florida, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Row number 1 for your Shaggy TV Pro late model. Starting lineup to the outside, the 007 out of Brainerd, Minnesota, Samuel Bachman, and starting on the pole out of Bernards Bay, New York, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Sorry I didn't get everybody's hometown in there. It's something I'm going to start doing. I wish I could get coast to coast and maybe do that when I could get access to the file. But Dino sent us a nice file with some of these guys' hometowns, states, and I'd like to implement that a little bit, not just for Charity Week. Maybe I can start to remember where some of these guys are from. Makes it a little more fun, I think. But tell you what, we got 30 laps here to burn it down at the Lernerville Speedway. Green flag high. Boy, is she ready to fly. 30 to play at the Clay. We're underway. Sam Bachman with a good jump on that high side. Dylan Kinsey trying to make that bottom work, but I don't know if that's where you want to be. The Philly Flyer having to get on the binders. Going to let that 32 slide up here, and that's what you do when you're the new guy on the block. I mean, you're in the sea of teammates. No reason to push it now. We got an FTM top 6. Here, I mean, you're looking at it. The first guy, well, now top 7. Welcome, Putt Putt. On the bottom, gets by Brandon Templeton in the 31. Top 7 drivers from Full Throttle Motorsports, and we got a wild ride. B-Temp, Brandon Templeton up and over. He's parked. No caution flag for the 31. And, man, Brandon Templeton's going to wonder, how bad do I got to wreck this thing for a caution flag to wave? Not going to get one this time. And Sam Bachman leading the way here as Dylan Kinsey shopping in the middle of the racetrack, trying to work and hold off his teammate there in the 075. The Philly Flyer not going to give up that easy, man. He's going right up to that top shelf, trying to work in that groove, but it's such a far way around, and you can see how shiny it's getting going down these straightaways. I mean, maybe not so much the front stretch, but the back stretch. If you can't find that grip coming off the top of the corner where you got all that speed, what are you going to do with it? 639 says that's what you're going to do with it. He's going to drive it up in there on the top. Him and, Trevor gets a little tight. He's going to lose 1, 2, maybe 3 spots here. The 51 can mount the charge, but the 88 of William Watson, he's got him clear. And the battle going to be on here for the lead. We got the twin cars. Sammy B up front. Anthony Morano running 2, we've got Brainerd, Minnesota versus Spring Hill, Florida. So, I mean, we're talking exact opposites here. And, I mean, what are we going to do here? It's cold, it's warm, and we want to be somewhere right in the middle. And I think, you know, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey, that's at Brainerd's Bay, New York. You know, that's almost that little bit of middle Pennsylvania. We got that good weather. I don't know who went off in the top. I believe that was Scott Rayome. It was. You can see it there coming out of 4. Caution flag waves. And we're going to park it right here. What we're going to do. We're going to see if we can pick out what happened to Scott. Oh, you can see. All right. Looked like, to quote my future broadcast partner next week, may have been a slide job from hell. We're going to maybe take a different look at this. I got a feeling Scott, not a lot of, or really nothing he could do here. As we go over the top, and you guys probably saw it, but to be honest with you, I'm looking at my remote control, trying to get this blimp camera. So you can see, Scott, you know, a little contact. It maybe doesn't know they're 3 wide. That's not on Scott at all. But what I mean is, if you know they're 3 wide, maybe you go up to the top. Because he wasn't the whole way up against the, you know, the cushion. Not that it's comfortable to be up there, but, you know, you got 2 teammates underneath you, and you can't put that on Scott at all. Definitely, you know, equal parts blame, I'd say, between him and his teammate there, William Watson. But it's just one of those things, you know, maybe you could do that to avoid it, you know, when you're running with teammates. But I get it. You want to beat those teammates too. So you're not just going to let them roll by you. Come make them earn it. And the lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace truck. We're going to get ready to go back racing. This time buys. See here, we got right now Chase Matsko, highest up that's not FTM, as the green flag waves. We're back and ready to play. 20 laps to go at the Lernerville Speedway. Oh, Sam got a little low there. Dylan followed him, had it really tightened up. Dylan's going to lose 4, maybe 5 spots here in that 639. Rough start. Matsko trying to work that 26 underneath. Oh, I think that's that's Ty Dickinson in that 67 machine, who got to the front stretch wall. Matsko trying to get them elbows out, man. Got to fight for it here. Busts his way into the FDM party. Matsko has it at the line. Kinsey gets up in that front stretch wall a little bit. Now Matsko going to be able to slide up there and shut the door. Chase Matsko to the top 6. Anthony Morano, he's got the lead now. Not too sure what happened to Sam Bachman. Oh, I was watching that. Missed the pass for the lead. Shame on me, but, well, Anthony Morano, if he could go back-to-back here tonight, that would be phenomenal. I wasn't here for the small block, don't know what he did, but I tuned in, got to hear the end of the big blocks, and man, he had a big showing in that. So if he could come out here and do it 2 times in a row, it'd be pretty nuts. And I mean, we got an FTM party behind him. Make it that much more exciting. But right now, Clay Christopherson, you remember, he burnt the place down with that 30-second qualifying lap. I mean, just dropped jaws. Never seen anybody go that fast around this place. And it maybe didn't translate on the sheet. You know, he qualified last, but he looked good out there, and he showed he's got the race pace. I mean, he's driven this thing up to P3. Clay Christopherson. Can he get one more? Maybe work by that teammate of his. You're seeing 23 on the sheet. We both know that's an 88 on the side of it. That's how I know William Watson as well. That 88, man. Oh, car over. Trevor Giroux, the Philly Flyer, goes up and over, and we're under caution for the 2nd time here at the Lernerville Speedway. And the Philly Flyer, he says, I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. I think we saw him disconnect there. He had enough for the night. Last night was his fiance's birthday, so, you know, he's still probably got a little celebrating to do, if you know what I mean. He probably in no hurry to get off this thing, but You see, he just gets up over the edge. Easy to do here at Lernerville, especially when the cushion's getting thin. And Philly Flyer, second caution. Let's see here. Who we got? Do we even have anyone in here? No, there's literally, okay, so who cares? Do what you want, but you know, I mean, I can't pull you up for your cool interviews, cool mid-race interviews. Nobody is in the Coast to Coast Discord. I am the only one in here, so I don't even know if I need to be in here. I just need to show up now for interviews. It's lonely in here. Ah, Ty, man, that sucks. That happened to my Moza the other day, no kidding. And I do an asphalt league where I race on Monday nights, and decided to do that to me after qualifying. No good. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna blame the new Windows update we all got like 2 weeks ago. I was finicky with the software. Right now, we're going down the backstretch here for the final time, ready to get back up on the wheel and play here at the Lernerville Speedway. Gonna have 11 laps to go when we drop the hammer. The Ant-Man brings us back to the green flag. Stopson sawing on that wheel, trying to get a run here for P2. William trying to mark his territory up top, and here comes another dog, the 007 Sammy B, trying to work his way back to the front. Sam Bachman has third now that, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade here. It seems like you want to be up top. I mean, it's dangerous to pass, so you're going to have room for a slide job for sure. But right now, the 639, you can see there's no room for a slide job. Sam Bachman, he's got a little bit of room, but he's going to have to do it quick because if he gives up that high lane, maybe back-to-back corners, Clay Christopherson's going to be right there to pounce. And the 51, I mean, he works through the field better than the majority of drivers we see. So if he gets that little bit of opening, little bit of life, that's all he's going to need here as we ride along with Clay Christopherson. Man, all over the back of that gridpack.com 007. Sam Bachman going to run that middle here and protect a little bit. Putt doing the same. Clay so good here, going to try to diamond center off. Cut it low. What can he do here going through 1 and 2? The answer's nada. He's going to send it right back up in line. Try to hold on, play a little defense. Still in FTM top 5 is Chase Matsko. You can see him behind that 639. He's getting some work done to him here by the 444 Scott Rayon. Scott trying to make it an FTM top 7. Not going to be easy, though. Only 5 laps left. Coming to 4 this time by is William Watson. Is right there on the back of the 32, but he's going to need Anthony to make a mistake. Maybe 2 here if he wants to pounce. You can see Anthony got a little loose there coming out of 2, but was able to set the car straight. Not lose a bunch of speed, and really you didn't notice any gain by the 88, even after the little bit of a hiccup. And Anthony Marano just showing what it takes here at the Lernerville Speedway. Constant, just hitting your marks, making it look good. And William wondering what he's got to do to find a way around this teammate of his as we go down the backstretch and enter turn 3, roll through 4. You see Scott Rayon parked to the top shelf with the white flag waves, 1 lap to go. And Anthony Marano looking to go back-to-back here at the Lernerville Speedway. Going to roll the top through 1 and 2. He's got a half a second lead as he enters 3. Final time out of 4. Anthony Marano back-to-back at the Lernerville Speedway. William Watson, P2. And putt-putt rounding out the podium. Sam Bachman, Dylan Kinsey, your top 5. An all FTM top 5 here this evening. The boys really strutted their stuff here. Congratulations. Great run. I guess that is probably the best camera we want here, but good run for those guys. Definitely a well-deserved win for Anthony Marano. And Well, we get to go back and let's be honest here. Okay, so Anthony, he had the lead at that point. Okay, let's see something here really quick. This was the pass for the lead. Okay, so yeah, no, see, we got focused on Kinsey there. We did see that. I zoned myself out. Yeah, that was when Sam got in the grass there. And I mean, that was all she wrote. And you needed to be up top. So, all right, okay. I was wondering how I said I missed the pass for the lead. I was kind of shocked by that. I didn't. Just focused on the back half of it. And, well, makes me feel a little better. Not as dumb. We'll see here if we can get a word here with the driver of the 051. We got Putt Clay Christopherson. Clay, absolutely. I mean, I knew you were going to be good when right away, you come down here and, I mean, you burnt this place down. 30-second qualifying lap. I mean, where'd that speed come from?
Just having carb issues in the heat race. Whatever setup we've been using for the heat just hasn't been working all season. So I think it's time to get the budget out and buy a new carb.
Yeah, we can blame that if we want, but I thought it was maybe we saw you coming out of 4, you look good, and then it just kind of looked like you just lost traction. I was blaming the right rear. Maybe you guys getting cheap on you not putting new tires on for qualifying, but either way, Clay, man, you always have fun racing your way up towards the front, and not easy to do here at Lernerville. You kind of just got to wait for that guy to make a mistake or maybe get a little bit too aggressive in front of you. I mean, what was it like driving through the pack tonight?
It was tough. I mean, the lane was middle for a while and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 was always top. And you just had to almost hope they didn't get their car all the way up there so you get a little bit of a run on them. But once it started moving, the top got really fast when guys weren't up there. So took advantage of that right away. And I tried the bottom, but just not enough oomph.
Yeah, no, I mean, excuse me, Clay, as I joke. So I was going to ask you, I mean, you can't speak for him, but it seemed like, Sam and Dylan, both your teammates, they had to work the bottom on that one restart. And it just seemed like, they tried to send it in a little too deep, but was it that important, why guys were sending it in on the bottom? Like, you needed to get up top and protect. I mean, was it absolutely gone on the bottom? You just needed to fight.
It wasn't gone. It was just not the gear. It just came out so doggy and too gripped up almost. But no, with me, Sam, we were all running fairly close, and then that caution came out, and I started on the bottom, and man, what a difference in speed. I had to get up to the top as quickly as I could.
Yeah, it seemed like, I mean, how is that to do? It's a difficult dance to walk. I mean, at one point, FTM, dude, was top 7. So when you're up there battling, 4th, 5th, and 3rd, I mean, you got to play nicer because they're your teammates, or at some point when you guys, kind of dominating the show like this, is the pressure off? Maybe you can be a little bit more aggressive than normal. I mean, how do you play it?
I guess it really depends. If we're racing something for like money or a pretty intense race, we're gonna use the bumper if needed. Give a little tap, let them know we're there. We're talking to Discord the whole time too. So, but most of us are pretty good about. He's a lot quicker, so I'm gonna change lanes for a second and let him by because there's no point in holding each other up. But if it's coming down to the laps, oh yeah, we'll race each other like we never knew each other.
Well, man, you put on a good show here. FTM top 5. You're sandwiched right in the middle, P3. So, no, it's not maybe the spot you want, but a pretty damn good spot. Great race tonight, Clay. Who you want to thank, brother?
You guys for putting this on. All the boys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block sets.
Well, hey, hell of a run, Clay. And, man, we're going to see you next week, right?
Yep, I will be there.
All right, because looking at it, you need to yell at Dino. You're not on here. I don't know what city.
I haven't accepted it yet. I think I just got it this evening. So
Yep, because tonight I'm going to try to remember your guys' hometowns. I want to incorporate them from now on in
Well,
the
me and Sam are
lineups.
neighbors that have never met, so
Oh, wait. So you're from Brainerd, Minnesota as well?
yeah, yeah. We live about probably 6 minutes from each other. I've never met him.
Jesus, God. That is unbelievable. You guys got to get
We're
together,
just,
man.
seeing
There's
how,
gotta-
we're just seeing how long it goes, you know?
Yeah, maybe you'll naturally meet at a Walmart, not even know each other. That'd be unbelievable.
We have to act like we don't know each other.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, Clay, congratulations, man. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you, sir.
Clay Christopherson bringing home P2 now, or P3. Now we're going to bring up the man who brought home P2, the man out of Moody, Alabama, William Watson. How we feeling, brother?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It seemed like, and obviously, this is not shit talking Anthony, okay? But very difficult racetrack to pass at. And it seemed like at the end, you were gnawing at him a little bit, able to reel him in. But, man, it just seemed like it's too tough to get off that top. Really didn't have enough chance to make a move. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, right there at the end. The only line was the top, but I ran it over half the race trying to get it in. I don't know if you noticed, but I was driving in a lot deeper than everybody else was, even if the ones running the top. And I just whip it around, and it allowed me to get a better run off the middle to exit. Anthony did say he saw me coming, and he said it's time to move up. So I was catching him. But he ran a good race.
Yeah, definitely catching him, but it just seemed like, when is a caution ever timely? But we saw you, getting stuck on the bottom every now and then, and you talked about it. How important was it to fight to get to the top right away on those restarts?
It's everything. You got to get up there, especially when this track always goes to the top, even if it's slicked off up there. As long as you can hold it, it's going to be fast up top. So it's probably one of the most important things to do. You just need to do it clean. I was trying to do it there on Scott there, but we were 3 wide, and when I went to turn in, it felt like it net cut it or something. The car just stayed straight, and then I had to yank on it, and it just sent him off the track.
Yeah, I think I got a pretty good view of that in the aerial. That's not something, if I were you, I would beat yourself up too bad because, you hate to put any blame on Scott on that, but maybe he didn't know you were 3 wide. I don't know if you got to look at it, but he didn't go the whole way up to the cushion either. So, you guys didn't get a lot of room in there considering, 3 teammates side by side. Bumping's going to happen, but at the end of the day, William, you parked this thing P2. And before I let you, do your thank yous and get on out of here, man, I'm glad you're back at Coast to Coast. We got you here in a charity race coming up, dude. How excited are you for that next week? You're one of the guys, I've seen you do the long distance runs, and man, that 100 lapper, if you make that show, dude, watch out for this 88 machine.
Yeah, I just got to play it smart. Just save the tires best I can. The other night when we ran, I didn't save the tires. I just ran up front, so got to play it smart. I'm glad to be back in Coast to Coast and racing with the FTM and teammates and everything, and glad they let me back.
Well, hey, man, we love having you back. You put on a hell of a show. Like I said, P2, man, congratulations. FTM 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 tonight. So, pretty awesome show by the team, man. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, teammates at FTM, Swan Speed Shops, Dupro Performance, GripX.com, Dean at Dirt Car Series, Coast to Coast for letting me back, and you for putting on the stream.
Well, hey, man, can't wait to watch you burn it down next week. You're by default one of my favorites over there at FTM, so I'll be rooting for you from up here, man. Go get them.
I appreciate it, buddy.
William Watson bringing home P2, and now we're going to bring up the man of the hour here, Anthony Morano. I didn't see how we did in the small block, but I saw the big block. Obviously, got to talk to you a little bit, man. Back to back, how we feeling? Lernerville, this is a place that just kind of, what's the correct word? Kind of honors consistency, man, and you're able to nail that top as consistent as anyone, and back-to-back wins, man, kind of shows that. Congrats.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep for the night. So,
oh, you won the small block too?
Yeah.
Jesus, God, man, the trifecta. I wish I would have known that before. I need to do a little better homework, Anthony. That is That's phenomenal, man. At a track, I just said it, dude. I mean, you make one mistake here, you're gone. I mean, we saw some guys make multiple mistakes, make a mistake and get a caution, get to hold their spot, and then do the same thing a couple laps later. But man, just that, how do you do it? Is it laps at this place? Is it, I mean, what is it?
I honestly don't know. It's just it's really the big block race was definitely the hardest one. You had to really be patient with the throttle up top, otherwise you were just gonna go over. The top was so touchy. It was a lot of fun to actually try to run it and not screw anything up. So that was by far my favorite out of the three. But uh, yeah, it was I had to wrong button. Had to do a lot of pedaling there in a big block, but late model was there's a lot more grip in the track, so you're able to do a lot more hammer down. So it was a lot of fun. I saw William was catching me there with about 7 or 8 to go, and knew I had to change my line or I was going to be in deep trouble. So I just moved up a lane a little bit, and it worked out.
Yeah, now, obviously it's not easy to pass here. Were you worried at all that you were going to struggle to get around Sam until he made that mistake? Because it seemed like he had some pace. You're clearly quicker, but man, you know how difficult it is to pass here.
I thought my plan there was to just wait until the track slickened up a bit and see once we can move him around a little bit, see what we can do. I didn't think I wasn't really gonna be able to pass him there. Caution, I got lucky with the caution. That was it. It's just gonna be a waiting game until then, waiting for the track to get wider and be able to move around and see what the track did, because otherwise it was gonna be just single file, I think.
Now, obviously, no pro late models, so just wipe those off. But I mean, winning the small block and the big block, Anthony, I got to think momentum, man. It's in your corner. I mean, how do we handle going into Super Dirt Car Week? And maybe you don't even know this, and I always rely on you for dumb questions. But with Super Dirt Car Week, we don't do that dumb 4-car invert, do we? Do we still invert the field for qualifying?
I don't know about the heats. I know the top 6 through qualifying lock in. After that,
oh, nice. Okay, that's awesome. So, man, you're one of those guys. See, look, you do. You bring the knowledge too. I mean, you're one of the guys for real. You know that. You can go out here and lay down a top 6 lap. Is that something? Do we focus heavy on qualifying, or do you just, if it happens, it happens? I'm going to worry about the race. How do we play it?
We're gonna plan on hopefully qualifying top 6. If not, we'll run heat races. Heat qualifying's never really been my strong suit, so uh, I'm not gonna worry about. I'm just worried about getting into the show and go from there. I mean, it's gonna be 75 laps and 100 laps at a track that I really like, so we'll see. It's gonna be a lot of tire conservation, I think, and just being smart, keeping the left front on the car, and try not to get that weird net code out of the track.
Obviously, I mean, 2 different leagues, but a lot of the guys running this, you're familiar with running your Sunday deal. Now, we saw that thing kind of go green flag a long time. And do we expect maybe some long green flag runs? So we'll see guys kind of sandbag that first run, you'll basically have to throw it out the window, or will we see some guys who just kind of want to go and be that leading horse, and set the pace the whole way?
Well, I mean, when we ran that race with Marty here for New Year's, it was at Oswego. I think it was the 200 lappers. Our second 100 lapper for the big block race, I think, went green straight through, if I remember right. So I mean, it's very possible, So I mean, I like to think it will. I'd prefer to run a long straight race like that. That'd be great. Uh, don't have to worry about people saving up tires and riding around and catching a break of a caution and running you over at the end. But it's gonna all depend on the nights before, see where you start. Hopefully make the pole shuffle and try to just set the pace early and just keep myself out of trouble.
Well, hey, man, I like to say, you got Mr. Mo on your side. Back to back to back tonight. Congratulations on the sweep, Anthony. Who you want to thank, man, before we kick you out of here?
Yeah, I gotta thank my wife Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Dirt Car, Swan Speed Shop, Highland Lens, DJ Shop, Vertex Graphics, Extra Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, Shaggy TV, Rocky Photography, Shaggy, you for sponsoring and broadcasting this division for us, and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, man, congratulations on the sweep, and really looking forward to next week, man. Good luck, Anthony.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Anthony Morano going back to back to back here at the Lernerville Speedway. Congratulations on the three-peat, and that's going to do it here for the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV saying so long, have a good night, and make sure you tune in next week, Super Dirt Car Week, here on the Coast to Coast Network. Have a good one.